Hi my lovely YouTube friends, Gypsy here. Lovely to be sharing with you again. So for those of you who saw my last video that I uploaded, I was just showing a little bit of the scenery and what's around me and where I live. And in that video, I did say that I was going to film this on location. However, that didn't quite go as planned, and because 3-year-olds, and my 3-year-old, I have learned at times can be psychotic. And Pixie had the biggest meltdown, crazy face tantrum you've ever seen. I had to, because we had walked so far from the car to find a spot to film, I had to carry her for like 2.5 kilometers in one hand because I had all my filming equipment in the other hand. It was a nightmare. So now I'm hiding in my bedroom, rocking back and forth. Maybe not that bad, but hiding out in my bedroom. Yeah, so I'm hiding from her. So this video is going to be about what I've been up to since Christmas and what I've, like, crochet wise, and I have some news and talk a little bit about what's going on in the crochet community on YouTube at the moment. So I need to get straight into it because I don't like to go over that half-hour point, and I feel like this is going to be a long one. So I'll try not to talk too quickly because I know that some of you struggle with my accent when I talk too fast. Okay, so the first thing is YouTube now has direct messaging. So I'll share my direct messaging link in this video description at the top. So if you have a YouTube account, you can click that link and send me a friend request and add me as a friend, and then you can DM me anytime about anything, and I welcome messages on YouTube as I don't use really a lot of other platforms. So if you want to direct message me on YouTube, that's fine. I do have quite a few that chat back and forth with me on Ravelry, and that's quite nice to connect with you over there. So you can message me here or on Ravelry, and yeah, there's a special link that I need to give people if they want to send me a request, and that will be in the description box of this video up the top somewhere, so it's easy to find. Okay, so that was the first thing. So what I've been up to. So the first thing that I have to show you, on Christmas Eve, I did the Christmas Eve cast on with Bob Wilson 123. So I'd never done anything like that before. So this is what that was. My mandala madness is a bit distracting. So sorry, I didn't really think about that. I was just like, run to my bedroom and start filming. So this is what it is. So it's a granny square bag. So it's 4 granny squares and then made into a bag. And I don't love this because the reason why I don't love it is because all of my projects, I don't just start a project. I'm a massive planner. I have to plan everything. Everything has to be strategically planned, the colors, the stitch, and everything. Whatever I'm going to alter, what I don't like, what I do like. It's a bit of a process before I make anything. And because obviously Christmas time is so busy, I thought I do want to participate in this because the whole idea of it is that everybody makes the same project and it's just spends the time to reflect on the year and, calm down from all the Christmas crazy. So I really love the idea of reflecting, and I thought I'm just going to follow the pattern. I'm going to grab, so I have a bag with which I have all my leftover yarns and things like that. So I thought, obviously these squares are all the same, but for the first one, I just grabbed out, I didn't look, and I just took one out and said, yes, this is what I'm using, and then this is the next one that I'm using. So I didn't colour coordinate in any way because I just wanted it to be really mindless. But at the end of the day, I'm not in love with it. So somebody might like it. Maybe I've got a couple of yarn swaps coming up, so maybe a yarn swap partner might receive this in their yarn swap, because I just... it's not the pattern, don't get me wrong. I would make this again, but I'd do the squares differently. I'd probably have, where this is 1 square, I'd probably make it 4, and it'd probably be like a cute little floral square, and it'll be all very colour coordinated and things that are pleasing to Miss Gypsy. Yes, so anyway, that was the first thing that I made. Also, in other news, I got a real kick out of this, but you might not think it's a thing. I was ecstatic. So, I received a Christmas card from... Here's my Christmas card. Oh, I think I sat on it. It's a bit crooked. It's got a bendy bit on it. So here's my Christmas card. It says, Gypsy Rose and family, may your Christmas sparkle with laughter and glisten with joy. Happy holidays from my family to yours, Desiree Woods, and that is Dizzystitches. So she's Desiree from Dizzystitches. Thank you so much, Desiree, for this Christmas card. I got a real kick out of this because I live in Australia, which is also referred to as Oz, and this card came all the way from Kansas City to the land of Oz. And I thought that was awesome. Also, the day it arrived, it was really windy, so it very well could have arrived by tornado. And Wizard of Oz is one of my favorite movies. So, all the way from Kansas City, y'all. I love this. I love this. I don't know, that just seemed like something like, oh my God, it's come from Kansas City. Oh my God, I live in Oz. That's awesome. So this month, I also have a yarn swap coming up with Mary, my friend from Ireland, Mary. She's lovely. I can't wait for that. I'm really excited. I've started gathering a few things. I haven't sent that off yet. But I feel like I'm so addicted to yarn swaps lately. So her channel is Mary's Crochet Chit-chat. So she's so funny to watch. She just has a bit of a chat, and she really is like Mary's Crochet Chit-chat. She just has a bit of a chit-chat, and she's so funny, and I love her accent. She probably thinks I have an accent, as you all do, but I don't. It's all of you. All of you have the accent. So I'm really looking forward to that and to show you that later this month. So whilst I'm on the subject of swaps, I highly encourage you. I've had so many people reach out to me and saying, do you want to do an ornament swap? Do you want to do a yarn swap? Do you want to do a project swap? Do you want to do all these swaps? Which I love doing them, I do. But because I'm in Australia, every time I have to pay international shipping fees, and it does get quite expensive. So I can't commit to too many. But if you are interested in doing that, I highly, highly recommend that you do, because my swap with Sandra Testa was fantastic. It was so fun, and it was beautiful. I think everyone should do it if you have the means. So Kayla over at Lama Mama, and I will link her information in the description box. She's hosting, I think it's bi-monthly. She's hosting a different kind of swap every couple of months. So the first one is Knit a Valentine. So she'll match you up with a Valentine, and I guess it would just be like a love theme. So each one has a different theme. So I've written them down. So February is Knit a Valentine. April is Spring Clean Share from Your Stash. So take something out of your stash and send it. June is Summer Happy Mail. August, Fall Happy Mail. October, Halloween Trick or Treat. So I'm sure I'll be doing that one. That one sounds like a lot of fun. And December is an ornament swap. So I will put her information definitely in the description box, where she talks a little bit more about that sort of stuff. So that Knitter Valentine does start in February, but it's already open to, so you send her an email and she'll put you down for that. So she's taking applications for that now. And yeah, I'm really excited. I'm going to do the Valentine's Day one, even though I already have a swap. I already have a swap in February, but it's Valentine's. So I really, I just love love. I really want to participate in that one. So that should be super fun. Okay, so, and if you and let me remind you, if there's a little box that says, will you ship internationally, that does help us international people as well. So just think of the international, if you have the means. Obviously it is difficult to, not all of us are in the position where we can ship internationally. But if you have the means to, please do so. My son Fate, who is now 9 years old because he just had a birthday, I asked him what did he want for his birthday, and he said, can you crochet me something? He's 9 years old. He's just turned 9. I was impressed. I said, yeah, I can, but would you like something else? As if I was trying to talk him out of it. And he said, no. He goes, I know how much time you put into the things that you make, Mum, and I know that they're a very special gift. So I would just like you to crochet me something, please, for my birthday. So, of course, I got all gooey inside, like, oh, that sounds amazing. And then I realized it was almost Christmas time. I had to finish all my Christmas gifts, and there was absolutely no way that I was going to be able to make a crochet gift for him before his birthday. And then, of course, little Pixie said that she wanted crochet gifts too because her brother was having crochet gifts. And anyway, so I've been so busy. So if you haven't heard from me, I've actually had a couple of people email me saying that I haven't heard from me and am I okay? So thank you very much for your concern. I've just been super busy trying to get these gifts finished. So I will show you their birthday gifts that I made for them. I don't know where the top is, but I will show you this. This is, Pixie is mermaid obsessed. So this is her mermaid tail snuggie blanket. Not that she's really going to get much use out of it at the moment because it is summer and it is real hot in Australia at the moment. So I didn't use a pattern for this. So this is the tail. I didn't use a pattern for this, and I just used shell stitch. And this is ombre red heart in the colorway Jazzy. And obviously, it's difficult for me to get red heart. So this is a skein of red heart that I've been holding on to for so long. And Pixie just loves it. She's obsessed with this colorway. So whenever I get it, she wants it. She's like, that's mine. You're making me this out of it. So she loves mermaids at the moment. She actually calls them, because the movie The Little Mermaid, she calls it lemonade because I guess Little Mermaid sounds like lemonade. And so she calls mermaids lemonades. So if she sees, and I try to explain to her that they're little mermaids, not lemonades, but she's like, oh no, because when she lives in the water, there's little bubbles that, Ariel or whatever, when she's in the water, the bubbles that come up, she thinks that because lemonade has bubbles that Ariel lives in lemonade. I don't know. I don't know. That's her 3-year-old logic. So I'm really happy with how this came out. I'm not going to do a tutorial for this because I did have a look and there are lots of mermaid tail tutorials on YouTube already. So, yeah, so you can just use one of those. And I think it came out really well. She likes to just wear it and she puts it on and she just kicks her legs. Anyway, I've got a photo of her wearing it. I made a little top. To go with it. So I have a photo of her wearing that. So I will put that up if I can find that photo. So you're probably looking at that now. I don't know if you've seen Pixie's videos of her dancing, that I have shared some of that footage here on YouTube. She's obsessed with ballerinas and dancing. So this is her little amigurumi ballerina. This was such an easy make, such a simple pattern. And it was free. So free is always fabulous. So this is from the Crochet Today website. I will include a link to that in the description box, of course. And it was called Ballerina. It was called Ballerina Doll. So that's that one. So her head's a bit floppy. I did have like a little, I used just popsicle sticks as a dowel, but it's slipped down, so I need to fix that. So she has floppy head at the moment, but once I push that back up, I think because Pixie's been dragging her around everywhere, so I really need to work on securing those in there properly, I think. So she will have a floppy head, so you'll have to put something in there. I find popsicle sticks work really well, usually, but in this case, she's gone floppy. But we'll fix her later, won't we? We'll fix you. We'll push that popsicle stick up, and yeah, but I love her little ballet slippers and the little ties at the back. How cute! I didn't have a skin colour, so she's a bit peachy looking. She's a bit flushed, but I find it so hard. I know that Summer from Summer's Tips and Stitches, she was saying that she has quite a bit of trouble finding skin tones. If you're in Australia, which you are probably not because a very few of my subscribers are actually from Australia, please let me know where you find skin tones for amigurumi, or where you order them from, because I need some skin tones in my life that aren't this. So it kind of works for her because she's, you know, cutesy ballerina, but I would prefer her to look a little more normal. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so finally, Pixie's third and final gift is the ring around the Rosie vest. So hang on, I'll show you it like this. This is how it looks when it's out, and it has a little button sewn on, so it goes like this. I wish I could show you it on her, but I don't think I've got a photo of it yet, but perhaps before I upload I might be able to get one and pop it up in the corner or something. This is so beautiful, and I don't actually know where I got the yarn for this, but it is an Australian yarn. So if you look, this is how it looks at the back when it's on. Just beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Obviously Pixie loves pink, and I used some of the leftover yarn to just make a little headband, a little matching headband with just a flower, and I've just put a little button, sewn a little button on so that she can wear those together. Oh, it's just beautiful. I'm obsessed with that pattern. So that pattern is by the Lavender Chair, and I will link that below. It is a free pattern, and somebody has done a YouTube tutorial for that, so it is available on YouTube for those of you who are not great at reading patterns. Okay, so that was all Pixie's gifts. Now I'm going to show you Fate, my son. Yes, his name is Fate, F-A-T-E. I'm going to show you his gifts. The first thing you should know about Fate is that he is Harry Potter crazy. So anything Harry Potter, he absolutely loves. So this is Dobby, or his Dobby. Where's his little feet? So he doesn't have a mouth. Okay, let me just tell you. So this pattern, first of all, is by Britni Husband, who has quite a few Harry Potter themed patterns. So the pattern is called Hobby the House Elf, not Dobby, because obviously she's trying not to get sued. So that's clever. So he came out really well, I think. These eyes, I don't know if you can see the eyes. Is that focusing well? So he's got like glittery eyes. His eyes are very glittery. I don't think it really is picking that up, but these eyes I ordered from Canada. Actually, I found them on Etsy, and I'm going to display a name up here once I find the place that I ordered it from. I'll display that on screen because they were so beautiful. I've got them in all sorts of colours. She hand paints them, and you can go check her out on Etsy. They did take a little while to come here, but I know that a few people, I know Debbie, the Canadian crocheter, was saying that they were having a few issues with their postal service around that time. So hopefully that's all sorted now. But yes, So I'm very, very happy with him and how he turned out. And I think he does look like what he's supposed to look like. However, I did have a few issues with the pattern. So while I love him and he's beautiful and everything, and he's a house elf, I feel like he needs a sock so that he can be a free elf. Or I just leave him. Maybe he might do some housework for me. He might, if I'm lucky. So while I'm happy with how he turned out, I did have a few issues with this pattern. So the first issue was with the ears. Those ears are not the ones that are written in the pattern. So the designer has obviously included photos of what it's supposed to look like, and how her ears looked is not how the pattern said that they worked up. So, and I know this because I thought I was just reading it wrong, and I did it over and over again. And then when I went to Ravelry and I looked at the other projects that people had made, they all had the same style ears as me, and he looked like an elephant. He just looked like an elephant. He didn't look like a Dobby or have any sort of pointedness at the bottom here. I had to add that in, and so I'd probably do the ears even different again if I did him again. Also, there was an error. The first thing in the pattern that you start with is the eyes, and there was an error with stitch count. You know, the pattern wasn't a cheap pattern. It was sort of more on the more pricey side, I thought. And, you know, I think if you're going to charge what this design is charging for their patterns, I don't think there should be any errors. I think that if you're going to put something out there and charge that for it, then it needs to be tested, in my opinion. I would not put a pattern out that had not been tested for that price. Or, you know, any paid pattern should be tested, really. You know, if you're spending any amount of money on it, you know, you can be a bit more flexible with free YouTube tutorials and, you know, free content and things like that. But I think if you're putting something out into the world and you're expecting people to pay money for it, then it should be tested. And that's my little rah-rah rant over. Also, oh my gosh. So, yeah, I was moody when I was making him. So, although there is love in him, there's also a little moody in there. So, he also, I'm not very good with embroidery or sewing on limbs and things like that. And so sometimes, you know, if it's just crochet, they look beautiful. But if it's like, sew this here and this here and this here. So everything that's attached, it didn't have any, you know, it just said attach ears or attach nose, which is fine because, you know, usually you can look at the picture and you can sort of work out where it's supposed to go. But some designers are quite detailed in the fact that they show you exactly, like, sew it between rows, whatever and whatever, which is great for me because, you know, I need that extra help. I don't know about you guys and what level you're at with amigurumi, but I am getting better. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked, but Dobby doesn't have a mouth because I cracked it big time. So there was an instruction on the pattern that said embroider mouth. That's it. It just said embroider mouth, which isn't a very good instruction. So there was an instruction in embroider mouth, which is fine for some people who are good at embroidery and can know. So usually if I have a picture of how it's supposed to look, I can sort of maybe make it look like that, but not really. You know? Like, anyway, there was no picture. There was no picture. There was all these pictures in the pattern. There was not one clear photo of him having a mouth. You can't just, embroider mouth. What kind of mouth? Any kind of mouth. Obviously, he could have any kind of mouth. So I was like, no, you know what? He's not having a mouth because I'm going to ruin him by trying to give him a mouth. Anyway, it was all very stressful. And when I finished this pattern, I thought, I would not recommend this pattern because I do not think there's enough instruction. I would not buy another pattern from this designer. However, I already had. So, because Fate loves Harry Potter and she had a lot of Harry Potter patterns, of course, I had already bought the second pattern. So excuse me, Dobby, it's time to go now. You go clean something. Okay, so Pixie's just walked in. She's behind me now with her lemonade blanket, and she is being a lemonade in the corner there. They're lovely. Hello. Hello, Miss Lemonade. She stripped her clothes off, so I'll try and block her out. I cannot keep clothes on this kid. I'm sorry. It doesn't work for me. Okay. So, I was so excited to start the second pattern. Not really. I was so reluctant, and I was just going to throw in the towel because, you know, I wasn't happy with, I was upset about paying so much, and obviously that wasn't the only pattern I had paid for. So the second pattern that I brought from Britni Husband was Rooty the Mandrake Seedling. Oh, there's a hair on him. Oh my goodness. How cute is he? He is adorable. Let me show you his face and his eyes. So again, he's got those sparkly eyes, which aren't really showing up because of my lighting is not ideal. In my bedroom, it's a bit dark. I did come here to escape my child, but she's found me. Anyway, I love him. Anyone who's watched Harry Potter will know the reference there. Anyway, he's very cute. I love him. He's adorable. I am obsessed. He's gorgeous. So I absolutely love him. I adore him so much. I was a bit skeptical about beginning this pattern, obviously, because I'd had so many problems with Dobby, and I was very apprehensive about what issues I may encounter with this pattern. You know, when you start with a new designer that you haven't made a pattern from before, and it takes you a little while to sort of get into the same flow or work out what they're trying to, you got to sync up. You've got to sync up with the designer's message, what they're trying to put forward. And I felt like I was like one step ahead here because I had already just completed a pattern by this designer. So I was very familiar with the abbreviation, terminology, whatever, that the designer was comfortable using. And it's not one that I would particularly use, but I was very familiar with it. Whereas I feel like in the first one, I was sort of finding my feet going, there's a better way to explain that. Or, you know, you always think your way's better. Anyway, I had no issues with him. One thing I've never seen before, in this pattern, she was completely different. Like, obviously, I think that she's made this pattern a while after the other ones were published. So, even when I was like, when I got to where the eyes were going to be on the head, it was like, later, we're going to put the eyes here. This is where the eyes will go. So that's a big step up from her previous pattern that was like attach eyes, and it didn't even tell you where. This one told you the exact row, not even when it was time to attach the eyes, but way in advance so that you could put a little marker there, which I did, and the same with the mouth. This is where the mouth is going to go. So I was like putting markers as I was going so that when it got to the time to do those parts, I was already one step ahead. And that was amazing. I've never seen that before. I'm definitely going to use that if I'm creating my own amigurumi patterns in future, because it really, really, really is helpful. I felt like this was like written by a completely different person, and she completely redeemed herself, and I would absolutely highly recommend this pattern. The only thing that I changed in this is that you're supposed to sew together these little roots or fingers or roots, but because it's a plant, I actually thought that it looked better without having defined fingers, and I think that they look a bit more like roots. So I just skipped that step at the end, but highly recommend this pattern, Rooty the Mandrake Seedling by Britni Husband, which will be in the description box below. And last but not least, I did of course make a third item for Fate, as I did for Pixie, and this is yet another pattern by the same designer, Britni Husband. And this is a Cornish Pixie, for those who are unfamiliar. They're very naughty, so I'm a bit skeptical of leaving him at the house by himself. He came out fabulous. Oh, I should zoom him in so we can see. So he came out fabulously, and he also has the sparkly eyes that you can't really see. But I wish that I had blocked his wings, and there was no suggestion to block the wings. So that was another thing. I'm sorry, I'm jumping back, but about Dobby, there was a suggestion to block the ears, and I don't know if that's, you know, I think that the designer was suggesting that we block Dobby's ears into a specific shape rather than crocheting it into that shape, which I thought was ridiculous. Also, with all of these patterns, I forgot to mention, it does suggest using felt for the mouth and eyes and things like that. So but I have had issues using felt in the past because I find that it lifts whenever I use it, although I do use hot glue to attach it because I don't know what I'm supposed to attach it with otherwise. So if there's a better way to attach felt, please let me know and put it in the comments below. I crochet eyes and then sew them on. So I'm quite familiar with doing that now, and I'm good at being able to create different shapes and things like that. Comes very easily to me, so it's not difficult for me to just say, okay, how big's the eye and what shape does it need to be, and creating it. So I'm very, very happy with him. Overall, I would recommend this designer. However, this pattern was not as good as the Mandrake one, I didn't think, but it was better than the Dobby one. There was no telling you where to sew things. There was just attach eyes, attach ears, attach antenna, attach mouth, that sort of thing, which I guess it depends on your level. I would not recommend these for a beginner, but you know, they weren't ridiculously difficult. I just thought that there was some information missing that, you know, is helpful when doing amigurumi. So I've had lots of amigurumi patterns that are much more detailed. Free ones even. I've had free ones that are much more detailed than these patterns. And, you know, I will put links for all those patterns in the description box, as I said. I have no idea how I'm going to get these tutorials up this month. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to come through with those in January, and they might be delayed until February. My children are on holidays, and put it this way, after that tantrum in the middle at the beach, I was in tears. I didn't know what to do. I was so overwhelmed and crazy, but you know what? We just have to remind ourselves that we are not perfect. Our children are not perfect, and sometimes they are going to be psychotic. They just are. And I just had to get the hell out of there. Now I'm hiding from my child in my bedroom. She knows where I am, and she keeps coming in and out, but sometimes we just need to lock ourselves away in a nice quiet place just to gather ourselves and our sanity. I don't know. I can't commit to an upload schedule for January or those tutorials, but I am going to keep crocheting. Crocheting I can do whilst being very present for my children. Without them screaming and carrying on and driving me crazy. I find that crochet really, really helps with that. So I'm really excited for school to go back, and that's not happening until the 4th of February. So yeah, that's my current reality. Thank you all for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all the things. I love you, and I will see you all in the next episode.